Good morning, dear students. The day before we discussed the grammar part from the lesson from the diary of Anne Frank. It's a biographical sketch. And as we have studied the I mentioned the four different grammatical points, but we discussed only three. Those are compound nouns, adjectives and verbs, phrasal verbs, and idiomatic expression. And today also we'll go through a few idiomatic expressions and the other grammar points, that is contracted forms. Today we discuss the two language items under grammar. The first one is idiomatic expressions and the next one is contracted forms. Let us go through. On page number 57, I request everyone to open up your textbooks and go through the page 57. Do you know how to use a dictionary to find out in the meanings of idiomatic expressions? When we wanted to find out the meanings of idiomatic expressions, how can we look up in the dictionary? So we need to have a right knowledge to find out the words from the dictionary, because idiomatic expression is a group of words that convey a specific meaning. So you are not supposed to learn idiomatic expressions as parts. We have to take as a group of the structure or the phrasal expression. It's a group of words. Idiomatic expressions are the group of words. You are not supposed to look up the words' meanings in the dictionary as parts. Here certain directions are given on page number 57. How can we look up the meanings of idiomatic expressions? Let us go through. Take for example the expression caught my eye in the story. Where under which word would you look for it in the dictionary? How can we look for this word in the dictionary? There are certain guidelines given here. Look for it under the first word. Suppose the first word is a grammatical word like the determiner a and the, or the prepositions for, at, and other prepositions. You may feel difficulty in finding out the meaning of the idiomatic expression. In such cases, you have to go with the second word. Suppose here it is given, that is, look for the first meaningful word in the expression in our in our example. It is the word caught. Suppose to take caught my eye in the story. In the story, we came across the idiomatic expression caught my eye. It means, but you won't find caught in the dictionary directly, because caught is the past form of the verb catch. So caught directly you can't find it in the dictionary. How to find the idiomatic expression in the dictionary? I'm just giving you certain guidelines. So caught can't be seen directly in the dictionary. So catch is a verb and catch is the past participle and the past form of the catch is caught. So caught is directly can't be seen in the dictionary. And so you must look under catch for the expression caught my eye. Which other expressions with catch are listed in your dictionary? Note that a dictionary entry usually first gives the meanings of the word itself and then gives the list of idiomatic expressions. When you wanted to go for any idiomatic expression that goes with catch, look, get, pick, or anything, okay, you have to go with the first word. That is the keyword we say. Okay, first you have to catch the word keyword and then you can slowly go for idiomatic expressions. And for example, itself, and then gives a list of idiomatic expressions using the word. For example, study this partial entry for noun I in the Oxford Dictionary, Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. Okay, if you wanted to look for any other word on I, suppose to take here the example is given in box. Suppose certain idiomatic expressions you wanted to look up in the dictionary, you have to go with the keyword that's given there, I. With I, there are certain idiomatic expressions. Suppose to take, I is a part of the body. And either of the two organs on the face that you see with the suspect has dark hair and green eyes. Example is also given. The suspect has dark hair and green eyes. Here eye is a part of the body. This eye or eyes are located on the frontal view of our face. Okay, that is the first word. Secondly, ability to see. What is the other meaning of eye? Ability to see. And the ability to see, a surgeon needs a good eye and a steady hand. A surgeon needs a good eye and a steady hand. Here, good eye in the sense he must have a good ability to see which part of the body is got affected, and then only he can go for medication. So, surgeon's eye must be good. Here, eye in the sense not just the organ of the body, eye in the sense it is the ability to see. The ability to see. Way of seeing. Eye is also one of the meanings, that is way of seeing. A particular way of seeing something. He looked at the design with the eye of an engineer. He looked at the design with the eye of an engineer. Just like an engineer, he was looking at the design. So here it is the way of seeing. Not only the ability of seeing, not only it's a part of the body, and it is also a way of seeing. Okay. Of needle, the hole in the end of the eye, end of the needle that you put the thread through. Of needle. See, these many meanings are there for eye. And idiom, be all eyes to be watching. Here I have written, be all eyes. It means to be watching something or somebody very carefully or so keenly. Be all eyes. Put all your concentration upon something. It gives the meaning that be all eyes in the sense to be watching something carefully. And in front of somebody's eyes, in somebody's presence. In front of somebody's eyes, it means in front of somebody's or in somebody's presence. Be up to your eyes, it means a lot of something to deal with. Anything that you wanted to deal with, you must be up to your eyes. See, with the help of eyes, there are too many idioms. What we have to learn is what it exactly means. What it exactly mean you need to know. One is be all eyes in the sense be very concentrated and be very careful and put your all concentration or focus at something. Secondly, in front of somebody's eyes means in somebody's presence, in somebody's very presence. Okay, and be up to your eyes, a lot of something to or somebody to deal with. If you wanted to deal with someone or something, you must be up to your eyes. You must be up to your eyes. So with the help of the word eye, there are many different kinds of idioms, but each idiom conveys a special meaning. Now you understand, I hope, idiomatic expressions or the expressions in English which are very, very complicated and they have a concrete meaning, but we are not supposed to understand the idiomatic expressions meaning as parts. You have to take it as a group. As a group, if you take, that you will come to know how it can be conveyed, because each and every idiomatic expression is conveying a proper meaning. I hope you understand these idiomatic expressions. Let us come to contracted forms. Contracted forms. What are contracted forms? Usually we use contracted forms in order to express the short forms of the expanded expressions. Contracted forms are none other than the short forms. We use the short forms or contracted forms in our day-to-day speech or in our day-to-day conversations. Okay, we never use contracted forms in formal writing. Okay, when you write any write-up, we are not supposed to use any contracted forms. Even in your examination paper, you're not supposed to write the contracted forms. You have to write in an expanded form only. Why we need to use expanded form? Because there will be a word count. Because you have to write any write-up in specific word limit. So when you wanted to count the words, it would help you to add some advantage to you. That's why you are supposed to use the expanded forms instead of contracted forms. Contracted forms are the short forms that we only use them in our speech. While we are speaking, we use contracted forms. When we put them in writing, any formal writing, any writing discourse that you start writing, you use only expanded forms. Let us go through contracted forms today. When we speak, we use certain contracted forms or short forms such as can't for cannot, and I'd for I would, or I should, or I had. Okay, notice that contracted forms are also written with an apostrophe to show that shortening of the spelling of any expanded form, and not is used, and would or is in the above example. So within writing a diary is like speaking to oneself. When we start writing any diary or any information in a book, it is written for our own understanding, and also it is written by our own self. And here you pay attention to understand. Okay, plays and often words, often novels also have written or have speech in written form. So we usually come across contracted forms in the diaries, plays and novels. Especially contracted forms are used in some informal writings, not the formal writings. When you write a letter to your principal, when you write a letter to any government official, or when you write a letter or approach any person who is in official cadre, in a high cadre, you are not supposed to use contracted forms. As I told you, we use contracted forms only in informal writings and in our day-to-day conversations. Make a list of contracted forms in the text. Rewrite them as full forms of the words. For example, I've, I have. I have is the long form or expanded form. It can be shortened as I've. We have seen that some contracted forms can stand for two different full forms. I'd. Okay. Certain contracted forms we cannot understand easily. Why? I'd, I had, I would. Okay. Also can be expressed. So, I'd is used in which sense we couldn't understand unless you read out the whole sentence. Okay, and find in the text certain contracted forms that stand for two different full forms, and say what these are. There are certain examples and exercises are given to understand contracted forms. What are contracted forms, children? Contracted forms are the short forms. These short forms are used only in day-to-day dealings or in our regular or the normal conversations. In general conversations, we use contracted forms, whereas when it comes to formal writing or any writing discourses, we use expanded forms. I hope you understand both idiomatic expressions and the contracted forms today, and based on these two, I'll be giving a worksheet or a homework to do it by tomorrow. Thank you.